Good morning. My name is Cheryl Woodard, and I'm one of the meditation teachers here at EBS. I'm coming to you this morning from our bookstore because there are people sitting in our meditation hall, and as they do every Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 9:30, and weekdays from 11:30 to 12, and you're welcome to come here and sit with them. I do these videos on Facebook for people who can't make it here at those hours or those times, or who live too far away or for whatever reason. So today I want to talk about pure water, pure space, vastness. One of my favorite Buddhist teachers once said that we should make an ocean out of our positive behavior. An ocean that can easily absorb any negative actions we might fall into. She said, quote, "Everyone makes salt, but if you give your salt plenty of pure, clean water to absorb it, then your life will be less salty." And there's another kind of classic Buddhist example of if you put a heaping teaspoon of salt into a tiny teacup, the water will be too salty to drink. But if you put that same amount of salt into a vast lake or an ocean, the water can still be drinkable because the salt is absorbed. And so for these teachers, the essence of the Buddhist path is not how many books you read or even how many hours you meditate. Instead, the essence is, how do you live your life? Are you careful, patient, kind? Do people enjoy being with you? Do they feel safe with you? Do they trust you? In other words, is your study and meditation helping you to be a good person? Because if you're a good person, the few moments of bad things that occur that you participate in, the temper flare-ups or the thoughtlessness or whatever happens, it's in a context of goodness that can absorb it. That's the idea. So the teachers all tell us that good behavior like that becomes effortless when we have the right understanding. And the essence of this understanding is that all living beings are connected, interdependent, and precious. It is hard to be cruel if you see that everyone you meet is a precious being, even the salty ones. And also, if you see yourself as a precious being, even when you're being salty. So, how do you get this vision? How does this vision come to you? And one method is through meditation. So, in meditation, you cultivate this vision of compassion and acceptance and care, because you see your own saltiness, your own bad ideas and harmful emotions. You acknowledge them and let them go. And after a while, you have patience for your own salt and also for the salty people around you. So meditate faithfully, put in the time to cultivate this level of deep equanimity. And meditation is, after all, a tool for learning about yourself so that you can change. The Tibetan word for meditation is Gom, G-O-M, and it translates to become familiar. It's a verb that means to become familiar. And so we do meditation so that we can thoroughly and honestly become familiar with our own hearts. No more secrets, no hidden places. Light shines everywhere. And we are filled with compassion for how hard it is to be a good human being in a difficult world. And that's not all. Meditation practice, the actual discipline of sitting and coming back to yourself, getting carried away by thoughts and emotions, and then coming back. That is meant to change you and to change how you experience the world. That discipline of staying present and patient is transformative by itself. It's a practice that you build into your blood vessels and your bones, that staying there no matter what. And that anchorage happens then in your life, and you have a place to be when bad things come up. So we carry that discipline of coming back and staying present out into life. And the whole path is a living practice, and it can change your life. So again, let me say, we're always making salt. You can't help it. Somebody's going to tick you off or provoke you or something. You're going to get angry. You're going to do bad things sometimes, or want to do bad things even if you don't do them. But following this path of meditation and contemplation and trying in life, just trying to be careful, to pay attention, to be present. This path can envelop us in pure space, pure, clean water. We can become a vast ocean or river or lake capable of absorbing the few little grains of salt that are always going to come along. And they don't have the same impact that they can have without this practice. So there's just more goodness. There's more peacefulness, openness, love, because we've done this practice. So let me now review the practice, and you can do it with me or whatever. But the basic meditation practice that I know and that I teach is this, has 4 parts. Settle, open, observe, and then soften. SOOS. So the settling has to do with creating not just a chair, a cushion to sit on, but also a space and a time and a situation, circumstances that will be conducive to you staying present without distraction. So the room should be not too cold and not too hot. There should be enough light. There should be a quiet, if you can manage. And no pets or children wandering in and out, or roommates. And the cell phone is put away, obviously, but so a place where you can sit down, like under a tree or something. And the body is essential to this settling process, and the body is already really good at settling. If you go to a 3-hour movie, for instance, your body can sit there without moving for 3 hours and not have a problem with that. You don't have to get up and walk around, or you don't need to leave or whatever. So the body is very good at that. And you can think about your body like it's a tree with deep roots in the earth. You can picture your body as a tree with deep roots. as you settle down to meditate, you can plant yourself in the earth like that. Not planted in a grave, not a dead person, a living thing, but settled into a spot where it can be safe and secure and not have to leave. And then the second step, when you're settled, is to open your awareness. And we do this through the medium of our breath. We pay attention to the breathing of the body, the taking in of fresh air, the exhaling of stale air, and this constant movement of breath that is interacting your body, where your body is interacting with the world around you, and in a good way, in a healthy way. There's an exchange going on. And you could think of this as the wind moving through the trees, through your tree. The wind is coming and going, a gentle breeze. It's not knocking you over. It's not a tornado or a hurricane. It's just a wind, air. And let that feeling of paying attention to your breath expand your awareness to include the space around you. And by the way, when you do sort of bring your attention to your breathing, the breath tends to settle down too. If your body is settled, your breathing settles too. And then you observe, and you're observing the activity of your mind. And I want to say that your mind is always active. As long as you're alive, your mind is going to be active. So the activity itself is not a problem. In fact, it's a good thing. You are designed to have an active mind. It's okay that your mind is active. All we're trying to do is become familiar with that activity. And so if you go back to the analogy of a securely planted tree in a gentle breeze, your thoughts are like the leaves in the tree. They're going to move with the wind, but they aren't going to cause any harm. It's their nature to move in the wind. And that's just what they do. So if you can feel that the activity of your mind is like that, it's harmless, you can allow it to happen, and you can allow it to happen without feeling the need to intervene or change or accept and reject or whatever. It's just movement. Then if you notice that you sit long enough and your breathing has settled, that your mind's activity settles too. It all kind of matches. It all lines up because it wants to. You want to be aligned in this way. You want to be aligned with your body and your breathing and your mind. And that occurs naturally, very peacefully, not forcefully. You don't have to jam yourself down into the chair and hold yourself there. You don't have to push the breath in and out of you or pull it in and out of you. And you don't have to manipulate the thoughts that come up. It's all very, very gentle and peaceful. And this peacefulness, this steadiness, this presence is the gift that you're giving yourself. It's the care that you're giving yourself right now. And it's so healing and so important and so nourishing. And it is just this steady, quiet comfort that encourages your whole being to settle and to open up and to find peace. This is literally creating space that can hold whatever you have inside of you. It can be held lovingly in this space that happens in meditation. So you just settle your body, expand your attention with breathing, and notice the movement of your thoughts. And just stay settled throughout. And when your attention gets drawn too far away, or you get too distracted, or you get too caught up in whatever thoughts are coming through you, you can just come back to settling in with your body, noticing your connection to the space in the room that you're in with your breath. Come back to feeling the breathing body, and let go and sit back and let the leaves wiggle however they need to, without troubling you. So it takes practice, but practice adds up, and it can be a very good thing. And so you do that as long as you can. If you have 10 minutes, you may have to do this, coming back to the body and starting over 100 times. But that's okay, that's just the way it is. And eventually, everything will settle. It may take months of practice, but it might take a few times. I don't know. But so for whatever period of time you have, you just faithfully do this exercise of settling your body, opening your attention with your breath, noticing your breath, and observing the movement and the activity of your thoughts and your mind. And then the last step is softening, and this is a step of engaging your heart. So just before, when your time is up and you're about to get up and go out into the world, you can engage your heart in this process too of, first of all, feeling love for yourself, feeling tenderness for the difficulty of being human, for the challenges, for the effort that it takes to get through the world without bad behavior. How to maintain yourself in a good way is not easy. And so this confusion abounds, and it's sad, it's hard, it's painful. So you can engage some compassion for yourself, engender some compassion for yourself, and then extend that sense of compassion for everyone around you, for everyone in the world. We're all in the same boat. And you can extend this wish that you and everyone else could be free from the kind of troubled confusion that normally dominates, that you could find an equanimity and sustain an equanimity, so that when the bad stuff comes, it just comes and goes. It doesn't knock you over. It just comes, and you can absorb it, and you can go on. So everyone is trying to navigate a difficult world, and by remembering everyone's in the same boat, you can cultivate this vision, this Buddhist wise vision of interdependence and compassion for everyone. And you can feel it for yourself. And you can know, too, by the way, that Buddhists everywhere, all over the world, are extending that same wish towards you right now. I promise you, there are people sitting in India, and Nepal, and New York City, and Denver, Colorado, who are sitting and extending a wish that you would feel peace, equanimity, and relief from the suffering of the world. And so you can also take that in, carry it with you when you go out into the world, and know that being human is a good thing, and we are human together. And this meditation connects us with our humanness. So speaking of that, EBS is a good place to come if you want to connect with other people who are doing this same effort, this same spiritual path. Our website has all kinds of information. We have stuff going on all the time, different practice groups, different ideas, different practices, and you're welcome for all of it. Is open and free. So please check it out. Come and sit with us sometimes. And until I see you again, I wish you all the best.